Tell who what just happened.
We're recording already. Just get your energy levels up and tell them what just fucking happened.
Well, but how is this going to be the beginning of the podcast? Intro music is already going? Is that what you're telling me?
It's done.
Intro music just finished?
Yeah, we live.
Okay. Well, we had to can 45 minutes of high quality content because Paul Sun decided to call Brandon Chung, and it stopped the recording.
Dude,
so
this guy shafted us. I don't know if the fucking mic can pick up my voice. He shafted us, bro. And
so I mean, it's all good, but yeah, we're starting over. And also, it took us 45 minutes to explain the first like 3 hours of Brandon being in Iceland with us.
Oh my god!
So
we're gonna do a content sprint. We're gonna get through.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of were jumping around a little bit, but we were explaining in great detail. We almost spent the equivalent amount of time in the experience as explaining it.
You mean
so? It was like 3 hours of real life hours, and it took 45 minutes for us to talk about
that. Every second was accounted for, bro. That was wild. All right, so clearly my man Mike is joining. First guest in the new Brooklyn studio.
Really?
First guest in the new Brooklyn spot.
Well, damn.
So hopefully you feel the honor to be on this raggedy ass ragtag TV show.
Maybe
podcast.
One day.
Maybe one day. Nah, the Charlas with Chunk CWC channel.
It's a podcast or the whole
network,
a broadcasting network.
A whole broadcasting network.
Wow. CWC.
It's gonna be ass. No, I would
never
never do that.
CW.
Yeah,
you just got the C after.
They're gonna sue the fuck out of me for fucking copyright infringement if that ever happens. It will never happen. But anyways, so Mike's here today. First podcast guest in the fucking new spot. Unfortunately, we did have to can that shit, but we're here to talk about Iceland. All right. The energy level. This coffee's hitting me now. I don't know if you could tell. I'm a little jittery. But anyways, Iceland, we just came back.
By substances a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Coffee, drinks, all the other stuff. Yeah.
Anyways, so we just came back from Iceland. We took it in like the middle of January, right after getting back from January 7th was the day that you guys left, right? Yeah. So it was like
or
the
8th, one of those days.
So it was like after the first week of January, or within like a week and a half. So, yeah. So anyways, we get there. The way that the trip is going to be broken up, we'll explain in a bit. But my time frame that I arrived, me and Hannah got there basically just 24 hours after the rest of the gang had gotten there. And we left 24 hours after they left. So it was like a lagging. Yeah. We were just a lagging one day behind. So
should we do like a quick recap of like day by day what happened?
Yeah.
Because we need some sort of agenda because it took 45 minutes for us to explain the first day. Yeah. And we didn't even step into the museum yet.
No. Like, guys, I'm not joking.
That was the first event.
The first event, literally, like the first hour and a half of the trip, it took us 45 minutes to explain the first hour and a half.
But that's how great of a time it was.
It was.
We can talk about this for so much. Like
we
so
extrapolated long. On damn near every fucking second.
Every detail was explained.
Was accounted for.
The walls, the drinks, the food, each dish, what it tasted like, what we smelled, what we felt, how cold it was.
We should do that with like the stuff that was impactful, which Cafe Loki was.
We'll
get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But so let me just start off by saying, right? We scheduled this trip. Before we go to this trip, we're excited, right? They leave on a Friday night. It was an overnight flight. You feel me? So you guys left, meaning you guys, I mean me, Hannah, we got there a day later, but the rest of the group was comprised of you, him truly, Kelly, Vishal, Mike, Andy, Sandra, Miguel, and Erica, right? So it was like this big gang of friends.
So 7 of us got there first. Mm-hmm. We got there, we, rented the car, taxi to the Airbnb, settled in. We tried our best to stay awake, but we couldn't. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah, I'm not that tired, whatever. I was trying to stay up just for the jet lag purposes. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't, so I fell. I couldn't resist the temptation of sleeping anymore. So I ended up falling asleep. We woke up later. We got some burgers. It's pretty good. They were good.
Burgers.
Burgers. So, yeah, we got some burgers, and they were like $17. We were expecting a lot more expensive than
We
that.
heard some shit that like burgers and beers would be $60 fucking. Like
Was
a
it
burger
60
and a beer.
euros? Was something like that, right?
That's still
I
that's
think Andy
worse.
said that. Andy's cousin or something said something like
Well,
that.
Andy's cousin
She was
must
probably
have
at a Michelin,
like a Kobe fucking
Yeah.
burger, Wagyu beef burger, because it was $17, but
No, but we went to like a
the equivalent,
of like a
Shake Shack, smash
higher
burger, higher up than Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a burger loft. Have you been?
Yeah.
A burger
I've not
loft
been to
or like
a Bear Burger.
Yeah. No,
Zin
higher
burger?
Zen. Like
Zin
a
burger?
Zen burger loft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's besides the point. So, yeah. So we did that and then we went to bed. And then in the morning, I went with Andy to go to the airport with them to settle some rental car stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Then we came back, and this is the very like that version of what happened.
Yeah. Super quick. But the main takeaway that you have to get from this is that, like, I'll just say this very clearly: we were so fucking sleep deprived on this trip. And it started from day one. Well,
It
literally
started
from
when
the
I
arrival.
stopped talking about like when I stopped talking about, as soon as we went to pick you up in the morning, that's when your sleep deprivation started.
No,
We
I would
picked
say
you
even
up
the
from
flight.
Well,
Because
yeah,
remember the
but
flight before, like both
yeah,
of
but
us.
you're not like even back home, you're not going to be sleeping at like
one.
yeah, like you'll be getting to bed around that time.
Yeah.
So sleep deprivation started once
When
you
we
landed, because
got-
that's when
yeah.
you're supposed to be sleeping.
Like
back home.
at that time, it would have been 3 a.m. back home.
Yeah.
So obviously you'd want to be asleep by like 3, right? But the thing is because it's 5 hours ahead, now it's 8 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. And you can't go to sleep at 8 because then you'll wake up at fucking, midday and then it
Yeah,
fucks up your
it'll
whole
mess
cycle.
you up.
So point is we both tried to stay up. When they got there, they tried to stay up. They had to take a quick cat nap in the middle of the day. Then they went out for a little bit, got back, slept, and then they woke up again. Him and Andy woke up again to come meet us at the airport because we had now been going through the same process that they went through 24 hours prior. And I couldn't sleep I didn't get a blink of sleep. Wink or blink? So I think it's like a blink. Whatever
Either
it
one
is.
works. It's
I couldn't
understood.
catch any Z's on the plane.
No Z's were caught.
No Z's were caught on that fucking plane, dude.
This
I should
guy
have
had
taken
a
an
hole in
Ambien.
his glove for the Z's.
Bro, it was
not
bad.
working.
It was not good. Like I couldn't sleep for shit. This bitch was like cranking her fucking chair back and
Oh my
ramming into my
God,
knees. It
dude,
sucked.
I hate
It
that.
sucked. It was ass. Anyways, so because I had no sleep on the plane, we get there already tired, right? We should be in bed back home. We're not. Hannah, we get there. We come into the Airbnb. It's 7:30 around this time, a.m. And you guys like showed us the layout of the house. We put our bags in. And then at this point, I remember you told me, you came up to me and you're like, yo, so
How are you feeling?
yeah, how we feeling? Because the plan potentially is to go grab some food and then go to a museum. And I know like you told me, you're like, I know you have no sleep. I don't know if you want to take like a quick nap and then we're going to go to do some other stuff, which we'll get to because
The day before, the crew who was there, myself, Kelly, Sandra, Andy and Vish, we all drove around Reykjavik and we passed by a museum. So we're like, oh, we should check that out.
Yeah. So then he offered that and I was like, honestly, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to take a nap. Hannah stayed behind to take a nap and it was quick. She didn't really sleep much, but I ended up going out. And then from there, the first stop this is the fucking event that took us like 45 minutes to explain, was Cafe Loki. All right. We got to this.
Very impactful.
Very impactful. Do you want to explain the layout of the church and everything quick?
So real quick, it's just it's pretty much the most famous church in Iceland, right?
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
100%.
And it kind of sits on like a hill over downtown Reykjavik. So all the roads kind of branch off from that point. It felt like all roads lead to Rome, and then the church was Rome.
The center, yeah.
So you see the downtown square, you see it all lit up. It's like it was cold. There were snowbanks on the ground, so it looked like a winter wonderland type feel.
It was pretty cool.
They had a lot of Christmas decorations up still because they do like a week of Christmas like
lights and
festivities
celebrations
and stuff.
and
Yeah. So they drag it out to like early January. When we got there, we got there a week late from all those big like Christmassy activities. You remember that?
And they still had it up.
They still had like the decorations up, so it looked nice and everything.
And the reason we found out later, the reason they leave all those lights up is because in winter, obviously, it's in the Arctic, so the day sunlight wise is very small window of sunlight. We're talking like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Someone would rise at 11 and set by 3, 4. And when I say set like 10 a.m., you're thinking it's like sunrise. No, it's like a fast sunrise, fast sunset. 10 a.m., an hour before the sun even comes up.
10 a.m. feels like 3 a.m. driving over here.
Pitch black.
Yeah.
The skies are dark. It fucks with your circadian rhythm.
No idea.
Like your internal clock, basically,
Okay,
for like
there you
sleepy
go.
time and all that shit. And like when we got there, it was fucking dark all the way until 11, and then it just fucks with your head.
Yeah, it feels weird.
It's so weird, like driving in the morning, but it's like nighttime feeling. So they leave the lights up. Point is because it like helps boost morale. Like they said, like that was
it
one
feels
of the,
better
it feels
to
good.
see lights and stuff.
And
for
all the
a long
electricity
period
is
of time.
produced by like the geothermal, like the natural forces of the island, basically.
that's
So it's
pretty
free,
cool.
not free, but green energy.
Yeah.
So
it looked very nice around there. The architecture of the church, if you want to put a picture up, you could do that.
right there.
The architecture of the church looked pretty cool. It looked modern for what it was worth, right?
That
Like,
shit's been there for a while, and
I know that's what I'm saying. Like it was like sharp, like that
Angles,
point.
but there was a curve to
Yeah,
it.
it looked like the like
What?
mathy stuff. You know when like you're doing the summation to calculate the integral, the area under the curve that they use all the little blocks.
It goes like this on the fucking.
It's just like a
graph.
curve.
Yeah.
And then there's the area bars under it. And that's like the
Oh, yeah,
mathematical
yeah.
representation that if you have an infinite amount of bars, then it'll smooth to a line.
Uh huh.
When it's the jagged part, that's what it looked like. Up like that.
Yeah. You lost me.
You know what I mean. You
If I see it, maybe right now all I'm thinking is like a bell curve.
You've done it before.
I'm thinking of like a bell curve.
You're acting like that's super
in statistics, like a bell curve in statistics, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Right?
but each bar only represents one stand. Anyway, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. So yeah, in
This
your
why it took
example,
45 minutes.
in your example, there's 3 bars, right? Third
Uh-huh.
standard deviation, second and first standard deviation,
Yeah.
and then either way. But regardless, it looks nice. It's very nice architecture and everything.
It was beautiful, as you saw in the picture.
So we got there when it was very dark. It was like what 7? Oh geez. Oh god. So we got there and it was like what 7:30 or 8 in the morning? 8 in the morning, right?
when we pulled up to the Airbnb, it was 7:30. When we got
No,
to Cafe
I
Loki,
prefer that over the smell of the Loki vodka.
It was at 9. It was 9 when we got to the Cafe Loki. No, it was like 8:30.
Earlier.
Like 8:30.
We got to the museum early, didn't we? That we were outside taking pictures.
You could check because the timestamp, it says it on it.
Oh yeah, of the pictures. Anyway, so this is why it takes so long.
So while you look for the picture, I'll
Jeez.
just explain. Like we decided when we were back at the Airbnb and he had proposed to me like if you want to come out or not, and I said yes.
Oh, you're right. 9 a.m.
It was when we got to Cafe Loki.
Yeah, when we were just getting to Cafe Loki.
So we just got to the church 9 a.m. and we're like, let's get some food before we go to the Perlin, which is the famous museum in Iceland that we ended up going to in the morning as a part of the morning activities because it opens up at 10. So we're like, let's get food in that 1 hour that we have spare time. So we get to the Cafe Loki. And when we found it on Google, we're thinking it's just like a
anything
normal cafe.
Yeah, just like a standard cafe. But it was the real deal, pretty much.
It was like traditional, like it was one of the. I don't want to say like all the time, like one of the most, but it was like one of the most famous.
Yeah,
cafes.
it actually was because it's right next to the most famous church in Iceland, right? So that area is heavily traveled and explored,
and it's a very popular like with locals too, not just tourists.
Yeah.
Like tourists go there, but a lot of locals also.
Yeah, so the
frequent.
food there was very traditional: smoked trout, mashed fish, amazing mashed fish. Sounds disgusting, but it was great. Over the healthy homemade rye bread,
like
then
hearty.
Then we got those 2 drinks, the preacher's
coffee.
Preacher's coffee. So it had Brennivin, which is Icelandic's.
We delve into this a little more. We don't have to speed run through it.
Okay, so
this part is significant.
Brennivin is Icelandic's traditional liqueur. It's pretty much a vodka because it's made from grain and seeds, caravan seeds or caraway like that. Caraway seeds. So the seed is close to fennel. No, I don't. In a minute. I'm talking about Brennivin. I'm gonna yak.
He has PTSD
I'm
from
gonna
the
throw
flavors,
up
bro.
if I drink that. Talking about Brennivin. So pretty much that was so strong and pungent. The coffee we got, it was like an Irish coffee. Substitute the whiskey for Brennivin.
Uh-huh.
And then it had the cream on top. So we mixed it in, and it was cold. So we were, we wanted to warm up with, a nice
warm coffee.
Yeah.
With a little kick to it.
Right. So I took this first sip, and I just felt the fumes and vapors just spread through my body. And like I just shivered. And as I exhaled,
it makes your asshole
out.
like not pucker, but it just makes your insides like constrict because it's very,
it was rough.
It's an aromatic like fucking assault on your like all this. Like your sinuses, your sinuses were burning after sip.
My God.
Oh, it was fucking bad.
And it was so like strong that it separated from the coffee, and it was like beads of oil on the top that vapored the smell up even more.
It's like pools of like if you see whatever.
It was rough.
It was fucking gross.
So we had that. We had two other dishes: the smoked trout, the mashed fish, and then we had two desserts: a carrot cake and a skyr cake.
Mm-hmm.
The skyr cake was amazing. It was
it's like an Icelandic yogurt, but
with
it's technically
rhubarb
cheese.
and then the just pie crust under, but it was great.
Fucking amazing.
We ended up going back there though later on in the trip.
We'll get to that because that was
that was interesting. Should we little sneak peek at what we did? Because that's big. Like that's a big thing that people do.
Yeah. So as Mike said, this place is known for traditional Icelandic foods, and one of the most like for adventurous eaters, one of the most like biggest things on the list when you go to
in the world.
Actually, yeah, that's true because it's the only place you could have it.
Yeah.
Is fermented shark.
Yeah. I didn't have it. I don't really regret not having it.
I know you don't. I wish you would have had it. Like
you wanted me to be like, bleh.
I wanted you to be like the
yeah. No, I'm good. I had a good dinner before that. I was chilling.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll do the full breakdown of that because that was later in the trip.
You'll have to man that more because I didn't. Anyway,
yeah.
So after that, we went to the museum. It was a great museum. History of Iceland. It showed the glacier stuff, the ice cave stuff, the volcanoes, and
the wildlife of Iceland.
Yeah, and like all the geology behind Iceland and how it was. The wildlife, you said?
Yeah.
The wildlife.
The Perlin, and the Perlin's also located again on like this like beautiful like kind of like top of a hill, but it's like very far away from the city. Like it's not really in the middle of the city.
It's like on the outskirts. Like it's like almost like tangent to it because the city you could see left on there's an observatory deck at the top of the museum, and that was amazing. We went up there. Sun was like not quite peaked, but it was like
started to illuminate.
It was like 10:30 or 10:45. So the purple and reds were kind of just creeping at the bottom of the horizon.
Remember, someone pointed out that the sun was peeking through the clouds in the distance. Like the rays started to come through a little bit. Like the orange started to.
It was nice. It was very nice.
When we were leaving that place.
So,
I'll have pictures. I'll put them up while we're talking. The ice caves that they have an artificial ice cave in there to simulate kind of like glacial or just ice caves that are around the island, right? On the northeast part. They actually have real life wildlife, like little tanks of like, the whatever amoebas or whatever the fuck they have. They don't have a lot of diverse wildlife over there.
Yeah, so that was really nice. The observatory deck was my favorite part of the museum.
Yeah.
Just because you could see the city.
Yeah.
No, that sounds so foul. That sounds bad, right?
What?
That it's my favorite part of the museum.
No, that's not.
Anything but the museum was better than the museum was actually good.
It was
actually very good. But like obviously not being from Iceland, right? You want to see Iceland.
Yeah.
You don't want to read stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm not trying to see this through like a textbook or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what the museum felt like.
It was very sciencey,
but it was still very interesting.
It was good.
But going up to the observatory deck, it was just beautiful.
It's like 5 floors up off the top of the hill.
The best feeling was, you remember we went up there and it was like we were skating, right?
Yeah,
because it was so iced up.
It was literally like there were windstorms that bring in snow and then it just freezes over.
It was a metal
ice.
The metal lattice grounds.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like the metal like
the grates.
grid.
It looks like a grid.
Yeah, but it's metal. But it was just. The ice just caked and folded thickly over those metal bands, so it was just a fat sheet of ice.
Yeah, like you didn't have grip. If you didn't have
you were
like
just
good boots, it was just
around.
bad.
But my favorite part of like going up to the observatory deck was the feeling of like, wow, we're in Iceland.
Yeah.
Like that sinking in, that realization kind of sank heavier with me.
And it hits.
At that point, it was cold and the sun was like peeking over, and you see the city, you see like the outskirts of the city.
And then you see to the far, beautiful. You see to the far, 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 like in the eastern direction. I'll put up pictures and like videos that we took, but there's like mountains, and you could see the wind, or like you could see the clouds moving behind the mountains, and it's like wind, like snow covered, frost peaked mountains. That's amazing. With the ocean, because if it's a 360 like deck, right?
Yeah.
If you walked far enough, you could see all of Iceland or Reykjavik, like building, like city. Then nature. Then if you keep looking, fucking the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah.
Frigid.
That was amazing.
Extreme waters and waves, and then like you couldn't see. There was a little bit of like ice sheets that you could see.
Well, we definitely saw it at the Sky Lagoon.
At the Sky Lagoon,
which is the next day.
Yeah. So then
that was a perfect segue. There we go.
Wait, but what do we? No, there was one thing I wanted to mention that was mad funny. Okay. So at the Perlin, one of my favorite things that happened at the Perlin. Oh, I would agree.
We went to see the. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the virtual.
The virtual.
So my favorite part was the observatory, but like Mike said some fucking hilarious shit. Like, so basically, there was like a simulated dome. It's kind of like the screen and the projector wrap around so much into your peripheral that it's supposed to simulate like
you see you're really there. Yeah, it's a simulation. Yeah,
it's a walkthrough of like this of space, and like then it goes into like a bunch of other random shit. But it was in Icelandic,
where it's called a
augmented reality.
No, like you see the stars and stuff.
Constellations.
Like, no. Oh my god.
Observatory.
Yeah, but there's another word for it.
What like?
There's another word for it.
Like astrology something? Sky deck or something?
Yeah, the word for it was like some whatever, man.
No, you could look it up, and then I'll just explain. So we're sitting we were waiting for outside this and it like at this point the liquor is still kicking. We're a little tired from at least I was from walking around the museum and no sleep, whatever. And we had a little bit of a lull in energy. And we're like, let's go into this like dome for the virtual reality. And it's like a theater, right? So there's like rows and seats. So we go in, we sit down.
Planetarium.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's why.
It's a virtual planetarium.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're looking up. Like the seats are pitched back. So you're kind of like tilted back and just looking up. And your whole fucking field of view is this projector screen. So it's in Icelandic, the explanations and all the narrative.
Yeah, that's right.
I was not expecting
English,
that.
Yeah.
We sit down and it's like, and it's like starts.
Yeah, like that was rough.
It was hilarious. There was a family who was an Icelandic family that was in there with us. It's like 5 people, other people. And in this big ass theater, it was empty except for us, 4, and 5 other people. So we're sitting back, laying down.
I forgot.
There's a projector. Fucking showing like constellations and moving through space, and Mike just goes, yo. And he said some shit like, I don't know if you said like if you were drunk or something. I think it was like, yo, if I was drunk right now, I would throw up. Like I would
I remember that.
Because that shit was giving us motion sickness to the max.
Yeah, it was moving a lot.
It was so disorienting. That coupled with the fucking words you don't understand. You're like,
you get on a spin both ways.
It's bad. Yeah. It's like it was just bad. And then when we got up to leave,
rip?
I farted on the way out. Yeah. I fucking laid a fat fucking rip.
Yo, you made a new space cloud in there.
Yeah, the
Cosmo. You just made a
fucking the radioactive dust cloud or whatever floating through the fucking cosmos. But we walked out of that shit. We got in the car and then we were headed back to the Airbnb. So that was the majority of like the morning of the first day. Literally no sleep going into that. And then we got back and then I took a nap.
Yeah, and then we had dinner.
We had dinner, homemade, because again we were reported fucking bad data
it's
on
right.
Like how expensive
it was all fun. But then
so we went to Costco.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't even say that. We went to Costco and we got a bunch of food.
Yeah, and we were like cooking homemade meals, and it was that kitchen was hard to use. That
was tough.
The food was good. But it was just fucking funny. I
almost lit the place on fire. I was making steak And that Icelandic flank steak did not cook for anything.
Bro, it was hard.
I had to chop it up into strips. Anyway.
So that's the first
day.
day.
The fire alarm went off, and they're about to send one of 3 Icelandic fire trucks to our Airbnb.
Yeah, and we like, and you're like, what the fuck?
But it was just smoky. There was no like hood on the
like the ventilator was shit.
It sucked.
Yeah,
it like did nothing.
It's on, and it was just loud, but no production. It was like
yeah,
no air was being sucked in.
But the next day, what did we do the next day? That was Sky Lagoon.
Sky Lagoon. That's the big highlight of day 2.
Yeah.
No, bro.
What?
Bro. This is
is that the same day?
The first no. The first this is crazy how like we're skipping shit. The first day, the very first day, we did that, had dinner, then we killed. The night was crazy too. After being on no sleep, going to do all that.
We didn't do Sky Lagoon after the museum?
We didn't.
I think we did.
No.
I think we did. Because that's why you were so tired and we were like, wait.
No.
Wait, no, wait.
Did we do Sky Lagoon?
Because I remember that's why like Hannah wanted to rest or something.
Maybe we did do Sky Lagoon.
I'm going to look it up. All right. The day was January 11th. I don't think it was.
Sunday was this day that we're talking about, by the way. Sunday, like the day that we went to Loki was Sunday.
Oh, remember we had scheduling problems and we had to shift the day?
Mm-hmm. So when did we go to the Sky Lagoon? Was it Sunday?
Dude.
No, it was early in the trip. It was either day 1 or day 2.
Oh, did I click the wrong picture? I think I clicked the wrong picture. It was the same day. It was January 8th.
Which is the Sunday.
Or was that when it was shared?
No. There couldn't have been. It couldn't have been.
Do I have any on my... I don't.
No. It was January 8th. What day is that?
It was the Sunday.
So, wow. In the same day... Holy fuck. That day was crazy.
Yeah. That's why
we had to make it back at 12 to go to the Sky Lagoon.
Yes.
So after that busy morning, we leave the Perlin to get back to the Airbnb to meet up with the rest of the people. Quickly change, get a bathing suit. Then we go over to the Sky Lagoon, which is like one of the two big...
That's why you were like, dude, you were slumped over the edge of the Sky Lagoon. That's why you're so tired.
Yes, you're right. And then later that night was... Okay, so this is what happened, right? We fucking do the Perlin everything. We then end up going back to the Airbnb. We get in the car. We quickly, me and Hannah quickly pack, and you had to quickly get a bathing suit, change your clothes, all this shit. But then we head over, 15-minute drive to the Sky Lagoon, which is one of like 2 staple like spa/relaxation centers in all of Reykjavik, right?
Out of like the geothermal pools and stuff.
Yeah. It's like nice. So we get there, we check in. It's like very calm, soothing music, like kind of spa, whatever. We have to take a shower before you go in, so we change into like things. I had not showered at this point, so I remember when I took off my clothes,
musty?
I was fucking... I was like it was must, bro. It was mustard gas coming out my pits, and my balls smelled like cheese. Like it was disgusting. It was gross.
Like skier.
It would smell like skier, bro. I had skier growing.
Skier's good.
It doesn't. It was like a blue cheese. It was like a blue cheese.
Yeah, that does
like
not
a maggot cheese
like
growing in between. Like it was. Anyways, it was not that bad, but it was gross. Right?
This guy drags it.
I had like a thick, oily sheen around my body. So because I didn't shower over the flight. You know, like airplane air gets you extra dirty.
I think
felt
it's
like
travel stress.
Yeah, maybe that too. The stress sweat. So we get there, we shower, and then do you want to explain like the miscommunication thing?
So after we had a few of the guys, so I guess we were messing around and just like talking a bunch of crap.
Like when we were showering, it was stalls.
Yeah. There were stalls of showers, so we were all next to each other in the stalls talking a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but like the thing is like the stall, like you can see, it was like the cutoff of like where the privacy thing started was like
for you, it was probably like shoulder to like upper pec.
Yeah.
For me, it was like top shoulder, but I could see like
almost like over because it's like close. So if you just leaned over, it's like little stalls.
So we were just talking and like
we're talking. We're like, yo, like who's about to like drop chow? Yo, you want wash my dick for me? Like some shit like that, like dumb shit.
So we were like, yo, somebody crawl under.
Under the stall.
Under the stall to join.
Yo, I need to pee. You hold mine, I'll hold yours. Like shit like that.
So whatever. We were just like messing around, whatever. And I guess the girls like meant business and they just went in there and came out.
Yeah.
So we came out.
Because to gain access, let me just explain, like the roadmap for like the way this is laid out, to gain access to the actual spa area, like to start like the whole whatever, it was called like the 7-step process or whatever the fuck it was. It was like 7 different relaxation, like heat, like different things, stimulants.
Yeah, different,
like relaxation
different steps.
areas.
Yeah, just different. Yeah.
To do that, you had to shower first. You had to go through like the like locker rooms to then go into
showers. Yep, to then go into the first step of it. So we got out there and we were just, talking some more, messing around, we got out there first. So we were waiting for the girls, whatever.
And at this point we're wet in our bathing suits. So and
we're in the open Icelandic air. So it was like a cove covered up.
That's a good way to put it.
But the air further out, it opened up into the lagoon, which was the cold 25-degree air, so it channeled a little bit in,
and it was just creating a wind.
And it was chilly. It wasn't super cold because we took hot showers or whatever, but after a while our shorts started getting really cold because they were wet, and we're like, all right, we gotta like step in the water at least, just to
it was
warm
like 40 50 degrees probably inside the cove.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like crazy cold,
but to be wet and with
the wind killed it. So we were waiting there for like 5 minutes, and we're like, all right, where are the girls? And then we waited like 10 minutes, and we're like, where are the girls? So we were like, there's no way they're going to like go on without us. Like they would wait for us.
Because there's a turn, and then once you get past that turn.
Yeah, like both the locker room exits are right there. So we're like, there's no way they were going to just go experience all the 7 steps without us.
And like see the sights of like the lagoon without,
So we're like, there became a point where we're like, we can't just keep waiting here. Like, let's at least check to see if they did leave us or not. So we round the corner and
we enter the water now, and so we're warmer. We go down the steps, we turn, and then it's like you exit the cove, then turn, and then there's a little channel of like this like rock.
Yeah, it was like rock kind of like bouldered around, and it pathed
and then
you
it
out.
Curves again, so you can't see like the actual lagoon area until you have to go like a snake.
Yeah.
So we were in this channel area, and we're like, we don't see them here. They definitely fucking left us. And then while we're discussing like, did they leave us? Did they not? Your brother, he goes ahead, and he gets to the part where he like could look past the turn. And we're like talking, we're like, wait, where'd Miguel go? We look and we see Miguel. And then we're just like, oh my God. And then Miguel is like, he's like this. So we're like, he fucking found them. And like his body language is so funny. Like,
why'd you leave us?
Yeah, he was like, what? He was like, what do you do? And then we're like, they fucking left. They literally just were like,
they had like masks and drinks and everything.
Yeah, like they fully just did the whole experience without it. They're like, fuck you.
We're on
like
step 6.
Yeah, bro. Like we're not even in step 1. So
it wasn't that bad.
We go and we're like, whoa, you guys left us, blah, blah, blah. But when we turned and we opened,
it was beautiful. It was like, it's like, you know what it reminded me of? Like, when this sounds so cheesy, but like,
nah, say it.
Like when you're first opening up in an open world game like Skyrim, when they first let you go.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, and everything opens up and you're like,
you don't know where to look.
Whoa, there's so much to take in.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's the different temperatures. There's like the rocks, and you see the mountains in the background. You see the snow, the grass, the water, the ice chunks in the water, all the rocks, the waterfall on the edge.
Everything.
It was just, it was
magnificent.
Beautiful.
It was insane. When we got there, when we got out into that open area, it was like a bay, so it opened up, like the rock walls like opened up. There was a waterfall to the right if we turned right.
Yeah.
We'll show, like the pictures will be up now. It'll go through them.
Yeah, so that was the Sky Lagoon, and it was awesome.
And then there was like, so after that warm lagoon area, the common area, that's step 1. We then went into like 50 something. How cold was that?
I think it was around like 50, wasn't it?
50 something.
It felt really cold.
Fucking, like, to the point where it takes, like...
Yeah, because when you're going from 100-degree water...
Into that. It's rough. It's a rough transition.
Yeah, you get all those tingles, and you're just like...
You stiffen up, and it's like, you start hyperventilating. Yeah. It's insane.
You can't really take deep breaths. Yeah.
And that was the transition out of that, into like a hot room, and then there was like a salt rub, then like a cold mist room, and then like a dry heat. Yeah, like all this stuff.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
So that, after feeling relaxed from that, we then get home. This is why this day was insane. This is only the first day. We get out at like 5. We go to eat some lunch or some shit at like it was a decent cafe, like laundromat cafe. Mm-hmm. From there, we just got a bite because we were still like, we weren't that hungry. We then go to this place. Well, then go back to the Airbnb, and then we're like, "Yo, who wants to start drinking?" So at this point, this is where like what the fuck are we doing? We should have just called
resting.
it. Yeah, we should have been resting. But we start drinking. We kill a fucking bottle of vodka, and this shit was nasty.
And this was after
vodka.
taking shots of Loki.
Yeah,
because we took shots of Loki, and we're like, can't do this. We can't do this. Let's try the other one.
And then we tried the other one, and it was better. And we killed that fucking bottle.
Yeah. And then we went out to the hot tub.
Like we started drinking at like 9, and we're like, we'll be up for like 2-3 hours. 3 a.m. rolls around. We're out in the hot tub at 3 a.m. drinking, finishing the bottle, and we went into another hot tub. So
we went into the hot tub we were in our boxers. In the freezing cold. We went outside, snow all over, and that was the night of the blizzard. That's why our events got canceled that day. If you remember,
we ran into the snow and laid in the snow.
No, I was gonna get there.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
So a lot of the scheduling stuff got messed up because there was a blizzard that night. Mm-hmm. So the next morning's activities got all messed up. Remember?
Yeah.
That we had
the wind was really strong.
So we went out there. We were in our boxers. We're like, yeah, screw it. So we went on our boxers. We just like jumped on the snow, but the snow, it had a like a eighth of an inch of ice
sheet
over the snow. So we would step on the ice and like belly flopped on the snow. So we broke through the ice and just. Brandon had a bunch of scrapes on his shins that were blood.
Like where my foot meets my ankle. Because when I was stepping in, like the fourth step, it was
because you were running into it.
Because if you remember, I went out and then I went around to get the bottle of vodka, then to come back. So
so 3 of us did that.
Yeah.
Me, you, Kelly, and we just jumped on the snow, rolled around, and then we got into the hot tub after that.
And that was really nice because while we're in there drinking, taking shots of vodka in a hot tub after already being in a hot tub for the majority of the fucking afternoon.
That felt good.
It did. The wind starts kicking up from the storm.
We were chilling in the hot tub, and you just hear the.
It's like, and it was carrying like snow.
Yeah,
like,
so you see the snow. And the snow with the wind and the blizzard sounds. It just felt, and we were listening to the Skyrim soundtrack, bro. That brought a tear to my eye.
Dude, we were sitting there listening to this instrumental music, beautiful, because we're obviously like, we love Skyrim, and
that fucking was wild.
It was like a really
that felt so good.
Absorbing. And we even like when we had to pee, we went outside the hot tub and we were just standing there peeing into like the snow and
one at a time, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could have, but anyway. Yeah,
cross stream, sword fight, all that good shit. But Reykjavik was like laid out. So we're pissing and we're like this shivering, but we're like, wow, this is like the nicest piss I've ever taken. Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, and then you like when we went to pee, like I went around and your feet just freeze up.
It was bad.
And then you got to run back into the hot tub, and it's just a temperature shock change.
Yeah, it was
your
bad.
Feet just
it was bad.
Kill.
No cap.
But yeah, we were out there talking. So it was 4 of us: Hannah, you, Kelly, myself, and then Hannah went in for a bit.
And Vishal was there too.
Damn, my bad, Vishal.
Vishal was there too. He was tired though, so he wasn't really doing much talking.
Yeah, I think he was tired.
And we were just drinking, and then till 3 a.m. And then we were just like, we got caught up in conversation, and it ended up being 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, that was rough. So
6:30.
Yeah. So yeah, we got there. That's where the sleep deprivation really got nailed in further.
Like I literally did not sleep that whole day. Flew overnight.
All those activities.
And all that day I didn't sleep, and then went to bed at 6:30. I was up for
being drunk and being like on a bottle of vodka. That's why the next day we went horseback riding.
Yeah, and to get this, so 6:30 we go to sleep. We're like,
we got to wake up at 8 for horseback riding.
Dog, we went to sleep and caught a calm hour and a half of fucking sleep.
And
you had to wake up.
I had to wake up early because I was taking them. Oh, geez, there's so much.
There's crazy.
I had to take. So we split off because one part of the group wanted to see ice caves, and we didn't want to drive 3 hours to see an ice cave. Mm-hmm. So we went horseback riding instead. But the drop-off zone was in downtown Reykjavik, so they don't want to leave the car there. So I woke up at like 7:30. Yeah, I woke up at like 7:30, which right there, that's an hour of sleep.
An hour of sleep, but that's not even taking. It takes time to shower, get changed, bro. When we got inside from the hot tub, this Airbnb was kind of had us fucked up. They didn't provide enough towels, like a whole thing, whatever. Yeah. And because we didn't have enough towels, the towels that we had to use to dry ourselves were damp from other people's usage, like our respective partners or whatever. and it was just like miserable conditions.
Yeah, so there's not a second of rest that you got.
Nothing.
Like my sleep felt so restless.
It was bad.
So I got up and it felt like I just went.
Yeah, and you know what the worst part was? You wake up and it's still pitch black outside. At least there's no sunlight at all.
So, but so whatever. So I dropped them off, came back, and then woke them up. We were up at that time when I got back. Yeah, they were up because I was late. Remember? There was traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And then you guys were ready, and then we're like, we gotta go. So then I went down, changed real quick, and then we went to horseback riding.
So he literally went to sleep for an hour, stayed up till 6:30, went to sleep for an hour, woke up, drove the other half of the group to the drop-off spot for their tour, came back, picked me and Kelly up after we had changed, got in the car, drove another like 20 minutes to outside of Reykjavik into like a little valley like ranch area where they were hosting us for the horseback riding.
We were wrecked on those horses.
He is so funny. Like when he's tired, he was driving. I'm like, yo, how you doing? And I'm in the back. You know when you're in the back and like two people in the front are talking? You got to
put your head in the middle.
Yeah, because you can't hear because they're projecting their voice forward away from you, right? I was like, yo, how you feeling, bro? And he was just like all I heard was like murmurs. I'm like, come again? But I was so tired, I didn't even bother leaning up. I was just like,
nah, he good. He's straight.
I was like, all right, cool. So we get to this fucking horse ranch, and at this point, the blizzard's still going. Because the fucking hot tub where the blizzard started, we got almost no rest.
That's the same damn blizzard.
The same fucking blizzard.
It hasn't even moved much overhead. That's how little sleep we got.
Dude, it was crazy. And the car was swerving a little bit.
But that was towards once we got to the ranch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and then it went, ooh.
It was crazy. And then once we got to the ranch, we get out and the morale is low, y'all. The morale was fucking low. We were exhausted.
If we had more rest, we would have been able to appreciate it more in the moment.
100%.
But it was still great. It was
good. Yeah, it was good. The Icelandic horses were so cute.
The little Icelandic horses, we were on them and we just felt so tired that we were like slumped on the horses, just like.
It was.
It was so cold.
GoPro footage. Yeah.
It was freezing. But it was really nice when the sun started to peek over the horizon.
Yep. And they were taking us actually. We couldn't really tell because there was snow. But it was a lava field.
Yeah, with the different color rocks and stuff.
But we couldn't tell because it was snowed over.
But they said these mountains were like black.
Yeah.
Or something.
And
like that.
while we're like going and the sun is rising, the wind was so fucking intense.
It was sharp.
That wind, like my lip and my ear felt like it was gonna fall the fuck off. Like it was crazy.
I don't know why I did this.
Sleep deprivation, dude.
Bro, I wore ankle socks.
This was like fucking brisk ass breeze, freezing cold weather.
Because I had
no show socks on my boots.
No socks.
No socks.
No, because I had like 4 good pairs of socks that I was gonna wear for all the tours and stuff.
Like wool, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know why I brought short socks to begin with.
Maybe
I worked
house
house, whatever. I don't know why I did this. I just wasn't thinking.
And you wore the
ankles. I put ankle socks, and my snowsuit, because they gave us a snowsuit to stay warm, was riding up, so my bare ass ankles were exposed to all the elements.
Oh my god!
And like my skin complexion's like, I'm not white, so like my skin doesn't get pink like that. Like I mean, my face gets red obviously with the cold. My ankles, they felt so cold and brittle that if I flicked them, they would have shattered. That's how cold it felt. I felt like I got frostbite on my ankles. Bro, so that was stupid. That was very stupid of me.
It was
rough. But it was fun. And then after that, we go back inside. We pet the horses and stuff. And then we get some crazy call from the group.
So while we're riding, right, we're not talking because it's a single file fucking line, and we're like, it felt like we were in the Oregon Trail, like it was just depression, like trail of tears, bro. Yeah. The trail of frozen fucking tears, bitch.
That, it's like, yeah, like we're in the 9th circle of Dante's Inferno where the ice stabs your eyeballs.
We're just like
this. Tears. Yeah,
like,
it was
like we got shot. We were just like slowly slumping over, like you said before, and fucking that wind was howling. And I noticed because I was wearing 2 layers of like snow pants because it was that cold. So I was pretty bundled up like in like the torso, but my face and my hands were just freezing. I had my phone in like my innermost pants.
Oh, and that's why you got it late.
Yeah,
like
no, so because I didn't check it while I was on the horse because they said hold it.
Unzip
and it was just a fucking hassle.
It was a onesie of like a snowsuit.
Yeah, the zipper's here, but my phone's here underneath another pair of snow pants. It was just too much to get to. And as I'm riding, I feel my phone go zzz, 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 like several messages come in, like 7 sequentially, pa pa pa. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Whatever. I'm too tired. You probably
thought it was just the group chat, right?
Yeah, like an active group chat. Because we had 9 people in one group chat and we thought we were like texting updates, whatever. I get back after we take off the saddle from the horses. We're inside. We're drinking hot cocoa and shit. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I got a text. I pull it out and I notice it's not in the group chat. It's from Hannah. And Hannah was on that trip, that tour to go see these ice caves. Motherfucker, the goddamn texts were the very first text. We crashed. And I'm like, mind you, immediately my brain's like, it goes to the worst, right?
Well, there was a very big, like, they made it very clear that the roads are terrible.
Severe weather warning.
That you have to go on a website to see what roads are blocked at any given time because of how bad the weather conditions are.
And that's why all the tours for that day were canceled.
That's why we
did horseback riding. That one dickhead
riding.
company was just like horseback riding obviously is not going to be canceled.
That tour must have been struggling, broke.
They were just like, fuck it, we're doing it. And so what had happened was I put up the video right now of the aftermath. And they were on a bus going through these, like, first of all, these Icelandic bus drivers, as we found out later in like later experiences,
they don't care.
They haul ass on these narrow country fucking roads.
And that road, from what I could assume, because the other roads were this way, the roads were built on almost like a trapezoid. So when they plow the snow off the road, it doesn't make huge embankments. It just falls over the edge of the road. Mm-hmm. And eventually, all that snow piles up so that it's almost even with the road.
Yeah, that's how much snow they get.
So, and then it's snowing and windy, and everything is just frozen over.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a chance to melt.
Yeah.
So the snow is powdery, and the wind pushes it around. So the wind would push powdery snow over the road and coat it so that you can't even see the road that well.
It's bad. And these motherfuckers are going like, we're talking 50, 60 miles per hour on these curvy,
terrible conditions.
Like crazy.
And a giant big bus with the center of mass that's like
way
higher than it should be.
So you could fishtail like nothing. And that's exactly what happened. The bus driver's fucking driving, this Icelandic dude, hauling ass. I mean, yeah, fucking Jormungandr, fucking whatever. He's driving, and Hannah was there. I was not there, right? But from what I could recollect from the story, what happened was they started driving and the wind started kicking up, and the bus driver lost control a little bit. It started gradual, and then the back started just fishtailing.
And they said they were skidding for a good like 10 seconds.
10 seconds. And then finally he just couldn't control it. And the bus went off the road, and as Mike said, it's raised a little bit. So then the second went off the road, it just went through the snow.
Yeah.
Andy actually said that when the snow started kicking up on the sides against the window of the bus, he thought that he fell into a fucking lake because it looked like just like all this shit just being thrown against the windows.
And also they said if they were a little further down the road, because the way that was, the road snaked down to pretty much go down a hill.
Yeah.
So if they were further down, they could have easily just tumbled through.
There was a curve on the road, and then it would curve, and then as it curved, there was the hill.
You go down the
cliff.
cliff.
Andy literally said, like, yo, like, he told us later, he's like, we have to count our blessings, because literally if he had regained control for a couple more seconds, right, and then lost it, and went fishtailed over that, like, the bus would have started tumbling and people would have gotten seriously hurt.
Yeah.
But instead they fell, and then that's the video that you're seeing where the bus is literally, they had to send a rescue team. So funny enough, you're thinking like mass hysteria breaks out in the bus, right? From what Hannah was saying, these motherfuckers in the bus, everyone, the second it started happening, they were just like quiet. It crashes, comes to a stop. The snow's up to the fucking side of the windows, halfway up the windows, and it's a tour bus, so it's high up off the ground. They had to get a rescue team to come out there and shovel them the fucking door, like a path, clear the door.
And they said they were walking through like 3-4 feet of snow.
Of just
that was
snow.
Like, it was like thigh level, right? Or something like that.
And Hannah goes like...
That's probably 3 feet. Thigh level.
The fucking bus driver calmly, like, crash happens. Silence just for like 10 seconds. Like, they said it was so quiet, like you could hear a fucking mouse piss on a cotton ball. Like, that's how quiet that bitch was, right? So after 10 seconds, it's just like, oh my God, like, what the fuck just happened? You just hear the intercom. the rescue team is on its way. And Andy and like Hannah and them, they started dying laughing because he's so calm about like they almost just fucking died. It comes, they dig them out, and then the bus that rescued them, these motherfuckers, you're right, they must have been broke because they were like, all right, so, you know, that was an accident, but we're going to send out this bus to go keep going.
Those who want to continue can take the next bus and
3 hours. 3 hours on this trek.
45 minutes out, I think.
Yeah, no, 30 minutes out. So there's still a 2.5 hour fucking drive through these conditions to get to this goddamn ice cave.
So fast forward, though, some people went.
Yeah.
And there was a couple with a little kid that they decided to jeopardize the kid's life and go anyway. And turns out that they had to turn around too because the weather got too bad.
It got worse and they got sent home.
Yeah, so
it was crazy.
So that was just a waste of time for the second group, but obviously for the first group too. So then we got all these updates while we were having hot chocolate warming up after horseback riding. So then we went to the Airbnb.
Yeah.
I dropped them off and then I went to pick them up again. And all the time I'm just like zombie,
dead,
half asleep.
Dead.
Yeah.
Didn't we drink?
I don't think we did.
We did. We drank later.
What did we have?
The Loki vodka and the Jameson.
That was the Jameson night where
we're fucking Mondial? We're stupid.
Oh god.
We were playing Mondial. So just to give you like these first sequences were so action packed, right? But then afterwards,
we're not even on the tours.
Yeah. So let's just forget about like the ancillary bullshit. We'll do the major highlights. So the next highlight, go ahead.
Well, the next highlight was an 8-hour. Was that the South of Iceland tour?
Yeah,
which is different than the snowmobiling tour.
The Golden Circle tour.
So we did South of Iceland first, then Golden Circle next. So South of Iceland tour, major points there were 2 waterfalls. We did a
hike to a glacier along the side of a mountain.
Yeah, that. Oh yeah, that was the insane. 2 waterfalls, the glacier, and was the geyser that day too?
No, that was in the Golden Circle tour.
Okay.
Geyser was in Golden Circle.
So, am I missing anything? It was 2 waterfalls.
Black Sand Beach was on South of Iceland tour.
2 waterfalls, the Black Sand Beach, and the glacier. Mm-hmm. So it was a waterfall, glacier, Black Sand Beach waterfall.
Yeah,
back.
and it was again, like we drank that going into that the day before going into it, and we had to wake up again.
Yeah, once again, we had like 3 hours.
Yeah, like 3 hours of sleep to wake up, drive into Center Reykjavik. We're like, okay, this is gonna suck, and we're like dressed like we have hand warmers.
And we stopped at the cafe to get like coffee and like the ham and cheese croissants.
Oh yeah, at this like rest stop that was part of the tour, which was cool. So then the lady, she was cool. She's explaining us to like the history and all this stuff and. The waterfall, I'll put pictures up right now. That first waterfall was my favorite.
Yeah, that was the best waterfall
of that trip. Probably of all the trips because we saw
that was
waterfalls.
The best waterfall.
Insane. It looked like some shit out of
water from the glacial runoff. Because that waterfall is there because of glacial runoff, right? Mm-hmm. So we cupped our hands and drank some of that crispy Icelandic glacial water.
And to get to the waterfall, it was just sheets of ice that we had to. People were slipping like to get.
Yeah, we did a over. We were like over under how many people were falling,
and it was like
I said like 5. 5 was the over on 5.5, whatever. I took the under because I thought people would be very careful.
No,
but it was way over.
It was like 9 people.
Yeah, it was like 9
were just eating shit
because I didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
It was so fucking icy.
We had to take pictures. And we had to try to stabilize ourselves. Okay, put your foot in this little ice divot. Put your foot in that ice divot to try to anchor ourselves for the picture.
Yeah, because the thing is that waterfall was going down and then creating a river, but the mist and all this stuff that was coming off. Yo, make more noise in the back. Thank you, producer. Jesus Christ, the mist that was coming off of all that shit would then settle and solidify little by little, and it was like mounds of ice. At the base of this waterfall,
right in front of the base of the waterfall, it was a giant mountain.
Also the waterfall itself is already frozen, like massive sheets of fucking ice hanging over this cliff. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And like there was.
You know what it looked like? You know the spray installation where you spray it and it expands.
Oh yeah.
You know that like cloudy texture that it makes. The ice from the mist that froze looked like that.
It did look like that. You'll see pictures. We took really dope pictures there. Then from there we went to another. We went to a glacier. That shit was cool.
Yeah, that was very.
We parked and then we had like a 20-minute, 18-minute like walk out along the ridge off of this mountain
to then see the glacier at the end.
I'll put a video up.
You could see in some of the parts of the glacier, you could see the big chunks of the glacier, you could see layers of ash,
black,
which denotes every time the volcano erupted.
Yep, and it was,
which is crazy.
The ice itself was blue as fuck.
It looked like, what was that? What's that called? Glacier freeze? The Gatorade? The blue Gatorade?
It does look like that.
It was that color.
It was beautiful. Okay, so they had this shit, and it literally is like, you could see these triangle formation, and then we see it going up. We see it going up. That's not me. That's yeah. So we see this fucking, the glacier go up and all these like jagged, and then people were actually walking, hiking into that glacier. Our tour group didn't do that. We just went up to the observatory point.
Didn't they snowmobile there too?
No, they didn't, because there's no snow.
They just had the ice picks.
Yeah. They were ice climbing. Like
ice climbing.
That shit's fucking sick.
We did not do that.
We didn't.
That was the only thing I probably would have wanted to do.
Yeah,
that's intense.
We did a lot. Like we couldn't have squeezed that in.
We couldn't have.
We would have died.
So then after that, we did the Black Sand Beach, which was really nice, but it was freezing.
Also, coincidentally,
it was crazy windy.
One of the most dangerous beaches too. Remember she said that?
Oh yeah, I could see why. Yeah, it was
like
crazy.
The water, turbulent waters, like scary.
Because the way the landmass is, it was like an indent, right? Mm-hmm. So all the waves were waves were crashing in this direction, Mm-hmm. And she said you could draw a straight line from there to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Didn't she say something like that?
Yeah.
Like there's no land, so those waves just generate so much momentum and velocity that it's not stopped and splintered off by land masses.
And the rip current or the rip tide
under
is strong.
Yeah,
like people have died there
because crazy surfers would go there.
Yeah, and like idiots who just think that they could so much. It's so crazy that the water that hits the fucking beach, people, like, she literally said, don't even go near to where like the waves can touch you because the gravel's so loose. It was like gravel.
Slip
it wasn't
and get
sand.
knocked over and just
and then you just get taken. So it was pretty crazy. And of course, like she said that, and there were idiots that we saw going and like running like to the fucking dumbasses, but whatever.
But it was very nice though. It was a very unique experience, but we were freezing because the water was getting kicked up by the wind.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So then after that, the waterfall on the way back wasn't as great. Mm-hmm. But it was still nice. You remember with the frozen bridge? Yeah. That we went out.
I didn't go over that bridge. You did. I have a video of him actually like
I was.
Go ahead.
So like the over the bridge to get to the other side of the waterfall, it was slanted upward. So I had to grab onto the side of the bridge to climb up. Mm-hmm. And then after we took the pictures on the way down, I just cowabunga'd it. I just went into like a snowboard stance and just went
down the whole
and just like
thing.
Skidded slowly down the slope over the bridge.
That shit was mad funny.
So that was that day. Then we got home, made some dinner, went to bed,
and then the next tour.
The next
was there anything that happened?
No, that was Wednesday. That's the next day after. That's Wednesday.
So what happened in between then? What was another highlight that happened in between then?
No, nothing. That was the 8-hour tour. We just made dinner.
And then but like the next day. So the next day was the next highlight of the trip, which is the tour.
The next day,
the Golden Circle tour. No,
Wednesday. The next day is Wednesday, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So what did we do on Wednesday?
Wednesday was the transfer from one Airbnb to the next.
Sky Lagoon, Then we went
Blue Lagoon.
So what you just saw was recorded last night. Okay, that was recorded last night. Today is Sunday morning, and we're recording this. We're picking up where we left off. There's gonna be no change in energy. Vibes are still gonna be good. The reason why is because homeboy Paul interrupted the podcast not once, but twice. The first time he called and it cut off the video, and we had to redo the first whole fucking 45 minutes. But I would say that's probably for the better because it took us 45 minutes to explain like an hour.
The first 3 hours of the trip.
Like, it was bad. And then the second one was what you just saw. So now we're just wrapping that up. So the point we left off on was we had just finished the South of Iceland tour on Tuesday. Now at this point it's Wednesday, and that whole day was just really oriented around going to one particular spot that I'll let Mike tell about or speak about, and then transferring from one Airbnb that we stayed at to the next Airbnb, which was also like, that Airbnb was fucking amazing. So we'll get into that. So
Tuesday night though, did we even do anything? Because I think we were trying to just catch up on sleep.
I feel like but we didn't. That's the thing. I think like we literally got like
still a few hours.
Yeah, like a few hours.
Okay, well then that's why Wednesday I think we just woke up late, right? Wednesday I think like, what did we do for breakfast or anything?
We didn't. We just packed our shit and then left.
Damn. Are you sure?
I think so.
Anyway, I guess that's not really
eggs. No. eggs, like oatmeal. Like we had like the quickest
or cereal or something.
Like,
Anyway,
like
yeah,
the most quickest
I
bootleg
guess that's
fucking
not
breakfast.
the most important thing. But we packed all our stuff because we had to take everything out from the first Airbnb and bring it to the next. So before going from one Airbnb to the next, our plan was to stop at Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
So Blue Lagoon was the second natural
yeah.
hot spring that we went to.
Yeah.
First was Sky Lagoon. That was on the Sunday.
No, Monday.
I think Sunday. Well, we
we
spoke
said
about
it. We talked about it already. Fuck it.
We can't even remember.
Yeah, it's hard.
And then now this was the second one in between our two major tours, in between our 2 8-hour major tours. So Blue Lagoon was interesting. You know, when we were driving up to the place, we saw a bunch of smoke and like that just like thick, heavy clouds like coming, like you would see from a factory.
Literally, like in Newark, if you're driving by Newark.
It looked like an industrial, big time, like production facility factory with all that smoke just coming out. We're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, and it was in the middle of nowhere too, because we were just driving out of Reykjavik, and we're just like, it's like, I would like kind of remote.
It was like 20 to 25 or 30 minutes
outside of the city.
Yeah.
Like outside of the city.
So we were confused as to what that was, but then as we got closer, we saw a sign that said Blue Lagoon, and we're like, wait, no way.
That's literally the fucking
because
place
all
we're
we
going
saw was the smoke was so dense and it was so thick. All you saw was rocks, snowy rocks, and the smoke just coming out of nowhere. Yeah. And it was so much of it that you couldn't see the source of where it was coming from. You just saw smoke. So we parked, whatever. If you remember, this guy was having trouble parking.
Bro, this Icelandic motherfucker could not drive to save his life. Like,
so
was he Icelandic?
I think
he was, right?
Yeah,
he looked like a local.
I mean, he could have been any, European dude.
Whatever it was, he needs to get his license checked out.
They almost closed by the time he parked.
Yeah, like he was literally just trying to reverse into a spot. First time he started turning.
That trajectory was so off.
He started turning and it was way too far past beyond the fucking parking spot. So when he was reversing in, he was gonna hit the car to the other side. Then he reversed back, and then it was too narrow.
He looked stressed too.
Dude, he couldn't. And we were just waiting in the car. You were driving. Or I was driving.
I think you were driving.
I was driving and I'm just waiting and I'm like, all right, we'll just wait. And then of course, you're in the front seat, you're looking like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, we were just like, this fucking guy cannot
he looked
park.
like he was going through a midlife crisis behind the wheel.
It was bad, bro. It was so bad. That shit was god awful.
So we ended up eventually parking. We found the spot. And
he abandoned. Sorry, yeah.
He
completely
he gave up.
Yeah,
that's
he
true.
was so stressed because of
Yeah.
that. He just dipped.
He went to a completely open area.
So funny.
So we got in there, and same deal. There's the showers and stuff. So we showered up, changed. We put our stuff in the lockers. You remember those lockers? And then we exited, and we exit the lockers, but we're still indoors. Yeah. Unlike the first one where you exit the lockers and you're outdoors. Yeah. You're still indoors and it's closed, and there's 2 exits to go to the lagoon. On the left was the lava something exit. Remember?
Lava cave.
The lava cave exit. And that was more like a nice, easier way into the lagoon, into the cold.
Yeah, because it was indoors, and then there was a little ramp that had water on it, kind of
the ramp downward.
Yeah, it ramped down into water.
Yeah, so
from
you're
indoors.
Inside, and you're stepping into warm water, and you could submerge yourself. And then there's a door that's under the water. Yeah, that you go through, and then you're outside. Yeah, into the cold. So that was the first option. Second option was more interesting. Second option was just bust the doors down in the front, brave the cold, just walk straight in your bathing suit in the 20-25 degree weather
with howling winds, whipping wind.
And just make your way. And that whole walkway was wet, and so it was icy and frozen and cold. It was bad. So obviously
your dogs,
we did that.
Your dogs were your toes would just be the second you step foot outside.
It's cold,
done.
And then the railings.
Yeah, that shit was so fucking. We didn't. Not all of us. I think Hannah and Sandra took the ramp down into the water.
I'm pretty sure Kelly did too.
Okay, so the women took that, and then it was, and then we were just like, we were like,
going out.
yeah, we were just like, let's
Yeah.
be Vikings, and then we straight up just like walked down into the whipping, like bone chilling,
Yeah, it was
cold, like winds, go into the water, and then from there it was kind of like surreal, I would say. Like once you actually got in.
One thing that we didn't say was like the smoke that was, as we were driving, the smoke was so dense we couldn't tell where it was from, and we realized why there was so much smoke. As soon as you open the doors to go outside, the mist and the smoke that was coming off the lagoon was so dense and so thick
From the temperature difference.
that realistically, no exaggeration, you probably couldn't see past 15 feet.
Yeah. No. Like if you got separated in the water,
Which happened a few
which
times.
happened actually twice to us, because we had a pack of 9, right? And like he said, you can't see shit in front of you. And it would literally get to the point where like we were just walking, one person would like lag behind or go in front, and then it's like
Yeah,
you
so
literally look around and
they're
nothing.
gone. And then
Like,
you got to
can't see shit.
traverse the whole place to try to find them.
And it was
It was pretty big.
yeah.
So Kelly and I split at the beginning. We got masks and we got some drinks. And then we found you guys in like one of the more like private pools.
It was in the deep end.
and you
all the way to
in the back,
to the left.
deep end, and then the left
Yeah.
one. And you guys were taking pictures or whatever. So we had our drinks, the green drink and the masks on. And then you guys were like, "Oh, where'd you get the masks?" So then there was a little hut, and that was finding the mask hut was impossible.
Yeah, because you can't see
There
shit.
was so much smoke. It felt like you were in what's it called?
Niflheim?
No, it's the puzzle area from
Yeah,
God of
Niflheim.
War. That's not.
The misty area. Svartalheim is like the
Isn't it called like Evaldi's?
Yeah, but that's in Niflheim.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I
Evaldi's
haven't played
cauldron
that.
or some shit, or like
It's like the puzzle area.
Evaldi's
that is
in
just all
Valdi's
mist.
maze,
Yeah,
and that's So that's a God of War reference. If you don't know
So-
that game, fucking play it.
yeah, it's a great game. So and that's the first one, but the smoke was so dense. You had to just have like an internal compass of like, all right, this is where I am in the place. This is my orientation to the place, and I have seen on the map that
It's shaped like this.
it's shaped like this, and that the mask hut is early on the left side.
Yeah,
So we just like, it's so disorienting.
it is
honestly.
really disorienting.
Because if you go out and you're in the center of the pool, you spin 5 times, you have no idea where you are.
Yeah, because you just see water. That's, by the way, blue as fuck. I'll throw pictures on. It's a beautiful place, right? There's like sun rising, and the sunlight was like trying to permeate through the mist, but again, it was so dense.
But from the top, you see like the God rays coming over
yeah,
the bridge.
yeah, yeah.
Remember when we took the pictures of the
That
bridge?
was fucking sick. But it's
So-
literally like you just see water and then fog. Like
Yeah.
you can't see anything
So
else.
it was nice, but I gotta say I enjoyed the first one so much more.
Sky Lagoon.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
I'm
that
like
one
so
much more.
torn because like
Nah, for me it wasn't even close.
it wasn't close at all.
Not even close.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot
Well,
of
also the second part of it is we were standing in that other private area, all of us, and then you guys went to get masks and you guys just dipped.
Nah, so this was some of the drama that occurred because basically what happened
We
was
stayed there. You guys said like, "Oh, we'll be back after we get the."
I didn't
masks."
say that.
Somebody
I
said that.
personally did not say that.
Somebody said that.
So see, this
and
is
we're
the
like,
ha-
all right. You know what? For the audience out there,
Okay, go ahead.
What do your parents tell you if you ever get lost? What do you do?
You go to the police. You say stranger danger, and then you're like, my mom's name is this.
All right,
Call.
if you're not like in the middle of this, like New York City, if you
No,
get lost
I'm
in like
fucking with you. Yeah,
if you get
just
lost at like ShopRite,
stay where
or
you
like
are.
exactly, you stay where you are, and
Yeah.
then you're like, where's the last time I've seen this person? Here, let me go here.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So you guys went off and got your masks, and somehow forgot Kelly and I were there.
So I'll tell my perspective of
And
the
then-
story. I'll tell my perspective of the story.
And then
after.
like we were just chilling. We're like, what's taking them so long? And we're like, whatever. So then I don't know. Miguel said he went to come look at us. He went halfway down the hallway. Was like, don't see them, and
So-
just left.
So the thing about that was so fucking funny. Okay, so look, this is what happened, right? We're in this near the mask hut. There was a little bridge, like a little path that you could go if you went past the mask hut. There was a little bridge and then an underpass in water that you had to walk under this bridge.
It
And then
wasn't
there
that low, but You made it seem like
Oh no, yeah, it wasn't like that. It was like a bridge.
had to reach to touch the wood above.
Yeah, but you're like walking
through.
under the bridge, and then after you get to the other side, there's like little like pods for like private groups to gather and just chill. Like there's
It's like
seats.
it's like
nice.
hot tub. It's like a hot tub
Within a water.
connected to the main part.
Yeah, so we were there. That's where he was talking about that, like
And
the
that's where we're
spot
taking the
of
pictures.
yeah. So then, what the funny shit was, this is what happened. Kelly had a mask on at the time because I remember she was on, I think like on the last one or like the
We were on the last one. Yeah, she
so-
had the green one, and I had just like the gooey,
the white one
like,
or something.
It was like the creamy, like the
moisturizing
hydrating one.
Yeah. So she had the last, because there was 3 mud masks or whatever the fuck masks that you had to put on, and she was on the last one. So she had to go wash it off after 15 minutes. I was on the second one, but it just so happened that the timing of me having to take off mine overlapped with her having to take off hers. So we both went out because I didn't go with like, I was walking next to Kelly to the hut to wash our faces in where like, you know, like the lines were to get rid
the
of
fresh
like, the little,
water spouts.
So we're washing our faces, right? So I'm washing my face. I'm like, it was not coming off. The second mask was insanely hard to get off. The black one.
Oh yes,
was so fucking hard to get off. Like I was scraping with my fingernails. So I'm doing that. And then I look.
Probably defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I was just like literally just brand new skin because I was just completely removed.
It was an exfoliating mask though.
It was. So that was good.
So I guess anyway.
I guess it did complete its purpose. But that shit was hard to get off. But while I was doing it, I looked up because I'm like, this is taking me so long. And I looked, and then Kelly was right there doing her thing, right? Like taking off her mask. So then I look back down. I do my thing. I get up, and then I'm like, I need to go get the third mask now. I get the third mask, okay? And then I look up, and I don't see Kelly anymore. So that's how, like, it wasn't like you weren't with Kelly because Kelly had left with me. And then I didn't know where Kelly was after I got my third mask on. And I didn't know where you were either. I thought you
back where we were.
So I didn't know that you had also, I didn't know that you didn't come back out.
Yeah, I didn't move.
So then I got my third mask. And then at that point, I was like, who the fuck is near me? And then I saw, I think I saw Andy and Sandra in the distance taking pictures.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll go towards them. So I start walking. Then I see Vishal. So I'm like, oh, what's up, Vishal? And then after, I saw Hannah. I was like, oh, hey, babe, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, all right, I'm going to go take pictures, blah, 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 over there. So then she starts walking off. And then I just literally, I was like, I don't really want to go take pictures. So there was like a shallow embankment that I started laying down on. And then the mist kicks up. I completely lose track of fucking Hannah. And no, I lost track of Hannah and Sandra and Andy. They were gone. So I was up by myself, and I'm like just chilling because I'm like, it's honestly not that big a deal. Like we're in the same area, we're just relaxing. So then I had like a little like me and me time. Like I was just chilling. Then all of a sudden I just see Vishal come out of nowhere. Like he's lost like a puppy, bro. He was like looking around.
You know a funny thing about Vishal though?
What?
He's Mr. Oblivious.
Bro, like he will pass by you. And
I was at the gym and I was sitting on the bench, bro. Vishal walks in the gym with his bag, with his string bag, and he's like just like walking through, right?
Max Riz
drops his bag in the bench next to mine. He has his headphones on. I'm like, Vishal. And he had his music on or whatever. I was like, ain't no way. I'm on the bench next to Vishal. And he didn't even notice me. And then he was like, oh, I didn't see you. I'm Dude. Like, how?
Okay, so were you with Miguel or were you by yourself? Oh, that's even worse. How do you not recognize Miguel was two fucking people? Yeah, he's like, bro, what the fuck? Did he have his glasses on? Or contacts in?
Bro, we were not even 6 feet apart.
I guess that's true, yeah.
We weren't even social distance.
Vishy, I can't defend you on that one. I don't know what the fuck.
So that was funny. So
he did the same thing too. Like he walked right by me.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Imagine in the mist.
Yeah, so that was even harder. So I saw Vishal. I called him over. We were chilling for a little bit. And then at that point, we saw Miguel and Erica.
Yeah.
So then me and Vishal met up with Miguel and Erica.
So everyone met up.
So, but no,
except for us.
Andy and Sandra weren't with us yet. It was because they were off doing something else, like taking pictures somewhere else, like coupley pictures. And I think Hannah was with them.
It was a big picture day. Everybody was just taking pictures.
It was
the whole
honestly
time.
really fucking annoying. I'm not even gonna cap. Like I wasn't in that many pictures, but because it was a nice like photo op opportunity.
Yeah, but it took a lot of time taking all the pictures
so
to the point
long.
where like. We didn't have too much chill time, like to actually like enjoy and relax. Well, I did because I was with like alone.
You were by yourself, and then
Yeah.
Kelly found her way back because she was like, if you split up with someone, like, how do you go back to the place where you last saw them? So she followed that rule.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of us didn't because
I guess you guys, yeah.
So that I saw Miguel and Erica, and it was like the only like spike of drama that happened that day because we were just like because we literally can't find each other, right? So we're all together, and then I'm like, Miguel, like, where's your brother? And then he's like, hey, I don't know. And then I'm just like, you should go find him. Like, can you go find him? Like, we'll stay right here.
This dude took 2 steps to the direction we were. I don't see him.
No,
just
so
left.
that's the thing that is mad funny. He came back and we're like, what happened? Where is he? He's like, I don't know. I looked everywhere. And then later on, you guys were talking and he's like, I was literally where we were originally, like in that fucking private pool, like at past the bridge. Miguel had walked up to the bridge, went under, but didn't go like far enough to literally just turn and see you guys there.
I don't even know what to say about that. How does that happen?
He was so fucking upset, yo.
I was annoyed more than upset.
Yeah,
regardless,
so he was so annoyed, like that shit. Like
how do you check without checking?
Yeah,
that's what he did.
Yeah, he was tight. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That shit was that had me laughing.
So yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
After that, we packed up, we showered up, whatever, and then you
guys showered before. You didn't shower with us, right?
You guys bounced.
Yeah,
so I was like,
you guys
I don't know where they are. So I just
We didn't have our phone either. Only one person, 2 people had their phone because they had this little like.
And they were in the
baggie.
group. You guys were in the group.
And then you guys texted afterwards.
After we got out.
After you got out, like, hey, we're out. So then we're like, oh, but I just want to mention one funny story quickly in the locker rooms, like the showers. I think I told you this, but when we were showering, there were like more private stalls. Like it was completely like the only thing that was like a gap off the floor, but then the walls were like fogged glass. So I dropped, like all of us were just butt ass naked in there showering, right? And there were like dudes like in the because there were 2 types of showers, the ones with the stalls and then just fucking open. And there were people in the open showers just butt ass naked, like dudes just dick swinging and shit. And I was in the stall and I had to fart this whole fucking time that we were in the Blue Lagoon.
You didn't fart in the Blue Lagoon?
No.
It would have bubbled up.
Because I was scared. Like, like when you ever fart in a shower? The heat, the
and
mist,
it's just dense, bro.
It makes it worse. So I was thinking if I farted in the Blue Lagoon.
Nah, but it smells like sulfur out there anyway.
It does. It did.
That's one thing we didn't mention. Like all these thermal pools and all that stuff, they're all like geothermically heated, if that's even the word.
It is, yeah.
And it has those sulfuric compounds in there, and it smelled. Driving through Iceland, you get pockets of sulfur pretty frequently,
like pretty intensely too.
Yeah,
it smelled like straight up rotten egg yolk in your car.
Yeah, it smells like
the bus.
Yeah, eggs. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like,
so you would have been fine. You would have got away with it.
I probably would have. Honestly, shit and egg smells differently. So it's almost like, yo, who the fuck diarrhea?
As long as something doesn't float up to the top,
yeah, that would
good.
be pretty bad. And then I have to like do one of these and fling it. Yo, could you imagine?
Part of the mask.
Yo, you're walking in the fucking mist. All of a sudden, you just see a brown turd flying through.
Turn somebody into Squidward, bro.
Yo, that's disgusting. Anyways, we were in the shower and I had to fart the entire time. But I didn't. I was holding it, and it starts like, like when you can't fart or you hold in a fart for too long, it like bubbles back up your colon.
Yeah,
and it hurts though. Has that ever happened? It's never hurt.
I can't say.
Maybe this is a husky dude thing. It hurt because it was bubbling back up the whole time we were in the water. Then it starts coming out. I'm like, I gotta let this one out. But I'm so like, we're in the showers. There's literally like 20 dudes surrounding.
This dude played the trombone.
All of a sudden, I hear like just like a loud rip, and I'm like, hold on, that sounds a little familiar, because like
it sounds familiar.
Like when you're like,
what
my fart exactly. you know what my farts sound like. Like yeah, like he knows what my farts sound like. I have a pretty good sense of like what the other boys' farts sound like. So I heard this fart. I'm like, that kind of sounded like Andy's fart.
That sounded like Andy's booty hole.
It did. So I was like, Andy.
I'm dead.
I go, Andy, did you just fart? He's like, I'm ripping cheeks, bitch. Like, he was just like no shame. So I was like, all right, bet. So at that point, I just went fucking, I did that. Like the fucking like frog farts. And it felt so good. So yeah, so take it away. What do we do?
Great story.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Great tangent there.